Elijah Muhammad, the devil knew him backwards and forth. That's one reason why he feared the God that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was backed by.
Yes, sir.
Because the devil knew that when we asked the question in a Lost Found Muslim number 2, lesson number 2, what makes rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes? Now I can go through the whole thing. The earth is covered underwater, approximately 3/4 of the surface. The sun and moon have an attracting power on our planet as it makes the terrific speed of 1,037 and 30 miles per hour. As it makes its way around the earth. The sun throws its water up to the earth's rotation, which is called gravitation. In the 5 minutes, I can do all of that. But at the bottom of that, it says, in fact, rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes are all activity by the Son of Man. That this one is being backed by God.
Yes, sir. Come on.
That controls the forces of nature. Huh? You know, petty bombs.
Yes, sir.
Talking about nuclear weapons.
Come on. Come on.
And the devil telling everybody he got the power to blow the earth up 100 times over.
Yes, sir.
The message said he don't have the power to blow it up once.
That's right. That's right.
It's a lie.
That's right.
He don't have the power to do it once.
That's right. Come on.
So, as I get to my subject finally, we are saying to the world that this great one has been risen up amongst us. You're so fortunate. You're so blessed. You don't realize, you know, the tremendous blessing that you've been given. The honor that God himself, he didn't send no prophet. He didn't send no warning, no messenger. He himself took off his holy garments and came into the belly of the beast and sought out one amongst you and raised him up. Huh? Giving you such an honor after all of what you went through. And I've often said that if he did not come to us after what we had gone through, that I would never believe in any God.
Come on.
If he was to go to the Jews, then the heck with him.
Yes, sir.
Because the Jews have never suffered what we suffered. Even though they try and tell the world that they did. They never have.
Yes, sir.
If he were to go, if this Jesus they were talking about was to show up in your local church, this church that we have in America, good Lord,
Come on. Come on.
I wouldn't want to have nothing to do with it.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Take your time.
Because the reality of what they teach you in the church, the people is coming to the people is fine, but the reality of what they teach you in the church is madness.
That's right.
If you were to go to the Arab world, to the Muslim world, you understand? I would not want to have nothing to do with it. But because he is God himself, he was compelled to come into the ghettos and come to our people and ultimately raise them to life.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you want to put that in? I don't really need it to continue. My subject today is dealing with, and actually I can intro it by what I'm talking about. Because after Master Farad Muhammad came and raised up the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was constantly seen with Master Farad Muhammad. Right. And as I told you, I did mention this in my last lecture. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was constantly with the messenger everywhere he went. Well, Master Farad everywhere he went. So when Master Farad Muhammad, thank you, brother. When Master Farad Muhammad was about to leave, they were all choosing who would be the leaders.
Come on. Come on.
They were all, talking about who they thought should be the leaders.
Yes, sir.
And Master Farad Muhammad said, now you all have made your choice. Can I make a choice?
Come on.
And they said, of course, Holy Prophet. They call him Holy Prophet. Of course, Holy Prophet, of course. And he said, well, I want you to hear Kareem.
Come on. Come on.
His name is Elijah Kareem at that time.
Yes, sir.
And he was sitting in the back of the room. And he called him up and said, I want you to hear Kareem. And he will no longer be known as Kareem, but he's now known as Elijah Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
Now, right then and there was hypocrisy that broke out in the house.
Yes, sir.
Because envy and jealousy was involved, of course. But they all thought that their choices, and many of them, who were in the mosque at the time, thought that they were more qualified
Yes, sir.
than this little Elijah Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
That little 5'2" man, he couldn't half talk.
Yes,
He couldn't even half talk.
that's right.
We way more qualified. Why would you pick him? Hypocrisy broke out in the house. And then ultimately now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, after Master Farad Muhammad left, it's not the battery obviously, after Master Farad Muhammad left, the believers, if we can call them that, in the mosque rebelled against Master Farad's instruction to hear Elijah Muhammad, and then ultimately ran the Honorable Elijah Muhammad out the mosque under threat of killing him. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had to run in the wilderness for 7 years. Now my subject matter is called Hard Trials Necessary to Establish Truth. The Holy Quran speaks of this. I'm going to read something real quick to you as a foundation for what I'm going to say. I'm not going to be very long.
Take your time.
But as a foundation for what I'm going to say to you, I'm going to read this, and then we go right on into the rest of our subject. Remember now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had to run in the wilderness for 7 years. And the leader of the band who was chasing him was his own brother, Carlyle. His own brother was the one who was chasing him and said he was going to eat 1 grain of rice per day until the messenger was dead.
That's what he said. That's exactly what he said.
And they chased him across the country for 7 years.
Yes, sir.
Now, look at my subject matter. Hard trials necessary to establish truth.
Come on. Wait.
Well, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was tried terribly by this. But also, those believers who, like I said, if we can call them that, were under trial also. Everywhere he went, he dropped the seed of Islam. He made ministers because they would give him a week or 2, 3 weeks to stay in his house. And the messenger was teaching them while he was, sleeping in their basement. But after he left, many of those men who had helped them along the way emerged as ministers
Yes, sir.
because of the touching by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
Hard trial now the messenger's going through because they want to kill him. They're not chasing him to beat him up. They're chasing him to chop his head off.
Yes, sir.
I gotta run. I gotta be away from my family. I can't stay in one city more than a month or so before the hypocrites had caught up with me. The messenger said that one time he was about to get on a train and they had caught up with him and they put a gun to his head and was about to shoot and kill him. And the man froze in that position. And the messenger said, my Allah got you.
Yes, sir.
And slipped on the train and the train took off and the man was still standing there like this here.
Yes, sir. That's what he told. Yes, sir.
That's what he told me.
Yes, sir.
That's exactly what he told.
After that, they locked the messenger up. After the 7 years that he had exhausted the hypocrites, they locked the messenger up. And for 5 years, claiming that he was a draft dodger, he was already too old to go into the army. But they didn't want him out here teaching during the time of World War II. So they ultimately locked him, World War I. So the